Hello, everyone. This is MMA Interesting Prospects podcast. Today, our guest is Schroeder, undefeated amateur prospect. Hello, Cam. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you for having me on the show. I'm doing great, man. Just finished a nice sparring session for open mat today. Feeling amazing, feeling blessed. Yeah, feeling great, feeling great. Thank you for having me on here.
So today we have a Sunday, and it means that you train also in Sundays. So
Yep.
do you train every day?
Honestly, yeah. Basically every day. I mean, there's some Saturdays where I will slow down a little bit, but yeah, man, every single day, and even the days that I'm not I'm not, actually in the MMA gym because sometimes it is, closed on Saturday, which I can still get work and, work on footwork or just drilling. Um, but yeah, no, even the days, I'm staying consistent with, lifting and making sure I'm in best the physical shape of my life. So I'm feeling amazing, man. But yeah, no, this is it's a full-time job for me, so I take it real seriously.
Probably it's like because you are a quite young fighter, and this is a like good moment to train like every day,
Yep.
every like hour that you have actually, because sometimes when you are a little bit older, you can have this kind of injuries that you need to think more about how to correctly schedule your training.
Yep. No, right. Absolutely. And that's my biggest thing right now that I'm taking advantage of is being so young. Freshly turning 19 years old and having being, in the spot where I've had about including a pancreation, which, that's still kind of, it's good experience, but it's only so much. But being in a spot where, I've had two amateur MMA fights, one amateur, kickboxing title fights. I fought in Kentucky. I fought in Omaha, Nebraska, with being able to elbow a knee in the head. I fought in Milwaukee. So I fought, I fought wrestlers. I fought strikers for a kickboxing title. For my age, I don't have, the most experience, but I am very happy with the experience I've had and then that I've had so far, as well as, like you said, making sure I'm staying healthy at this young age so I can continue to train at a pace like I am and have growth at the rate that I'm having right now, because I've grown a lot as a fighter in the last 2.5 years, so, or even the last year, last 6 months. So just really focusing on growth while being so young is very, very important to me. So I'm very grateful, that I got into the sport at a young age. So
And actually, when did you start your like overall combat sport journey?
I started training every single day at an MMA gym up at Unified Martial Arts in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, when I was about at the end of me being 16 years old. But before that, I did other stuff. I did jujitsu when I was about 15 or 14 years old for a while, and then I turned 15. So I did that for about like probably like 5 or 6 months. That was at a different place in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. But before that, I mean, just little, but like, what, like I was the kid that I was like 13, 14 years old watching boxing online. So I've been into combat sports since I was, younger, like 13, 14, but I didn't start to, take it seriously and train every day since I was probably like around 16 years old. But it's been about 3 years now where I've been, every single day in here, and it's my progression has been, very, very impressive. I'm better than ever, and also I have so much growth to do as a young fighter. But the position that I've put myself in already, I'm proud of, because I have, put in the work to have skills now, especially on the feet. Obviously anybody can see that's where I'm most comfortable, but on the ground too. Anybody that's watching this on the ground, be careful on my next fight. That's all I gotta say is be careful.
And actually, this is like super fine, fun kind of style when we have like great strikers, but they have like triangles from their backs.
Yep.
Like even
Yeah.
Donald Cerrone was this kind of fighter that, of course, he was great striker, but on the ground he was like a black belt level.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, my biggest thing is I because my ambition when it comes to this sport is like no other. I want to be the most well-rounded martial artist there's ever been on planet Earth. I want to be I honestly I'm very interested in competing in all sports. Like I would box at a professional level, I would kickbox at a professional level, and I would do MMA at a professional level, and I would feel comfortable doing all of that. and honestly even grapple at a high level. Like I want to be the most well-rounded mixed martial artist, there is. This I've experienced it, a little bit, but this new generation of fighters, and you can ask even the guys that are like that been in the gym, like the pros right now that are around Wisconsin running the gyms, like Primal or Rufus or like Pure Vita, Gnosis, the gym I train at, shout out to Gnosis, gyms like that, or even Rufus Sports Sheboygan, they'll tell you the next generation of fighters who are coming up are savages. So I want to be, the face of that. I want to be, I take pride in, believing I'm the future of combat sports. I'm going to be this next generation. Well, I guess I can only speak for myself. I want to be the most well-rounded fighter when I turn pro. And I'm doing that every day at the gym. I'm really specifically training a certain way to grow my skills because I want to be very, very, I want to be able to take you down, hold you down, wrestle you, ground and pound. I want to be able to get up off my back whenever I want to. I want to be dangerous off my back. I want to be dangerous fighting off my back foot, striking. I want to be dangerous going forward. I want to be the most complete fighter in every way you can. So, absolutely. That's my goal. Because you'll see a lot of guys like there's Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley is a great striker, and he obviously wants to keep it on the feet. But you don't see Sean O'Malley taking somebody down, holding them there, and grounding and pounding them, which is fine. I'm not saying he can't do that, but I want to be able to do that to the highest level guys in the world. And I want to be looked at as a guy. It's like you can't do anything with him. He can do everything. So that's what I want to be looked at as.
And I think that overall, like progress of MMA of this sport is kind of crazy. That like 20 years ago you could be like one-dimensional fighter and have like great
Yeah.
results, and right now it's like super hard because even Alex Pereira, of course, he's like a great kickboxer, but in the end he got this like BJJ black belt. So
Yep.
in the end
Oh
he's
yeah.
not definitely not one-dimensional. But of course the next generation will be like the fighters who are like super high level all department, and I
Yep.
think that the fighters who are right now the younger fighters like 15 or 18, the level of skills there will be like unbelievable actually.
Yeah, man, I know some real skilled 17, 18-year-old fighters. I mean, I know some real honestly, if I'm being completely honest, some of the most like I'm saying skilled fighters, I'll say, like just wise of their skill, like are some of the younger fighters I know. It's honestly wild, man. And it's because and it also is wild because you look at a guy like me and you look at me in 10 years and I'm just going to be entering my prime, you know what I mean? So I'm very very excited, I'm very excited for the future, for me cuz I'm not going anywhere. I'm just getting better. So, it's I'm also going to have to prepare cuz this next generation of fighters, they're going to come, complete. So, I got to be complete myself. So, which I will, working every day to do that. So,
And last year, you actually had at one point quite a crazy schedule because you fought twice in MMA, also in kickboxing. But after this, you had, I believe, at least in Topology, you had like three bouts
yeah, no.
that were cancelled.
It was supposed to be four. It was four that were canceled. So I was living in Milwaukee. I stay in like Fox Valley area. If you know where that is, I'm not sure, but it's kind of it's more up north in Wisconsin. Not far at all. It's still like I live about like an hour, 50 minutes away from Milwaukee, so I'm still close. But I was living because I was training at a different gym than I was now. I was training at it's called Monster Militia MMA now. I was living with shout out to Gary Conko. He's a professional fighter. Yeah, I was living with him, and I'm so grateful for that experience. So blessed, so blessed. And yeah, no, I had a lot of personal things in my life happen, and I'm actually ended up moving up here. So I I was scheduled. I was booked those fights. I was booked a shit ton of fights. Um, for I would believe, and honestly, I don't know if you knew this. I was supposed to fight the weekend. My kickboxing title fight. I was supposed to fight the weekend after that, like the weekend after that at NAFC against some guy from Rufus, but the guy pulled out. I think he faked the injury because he didn't want to fight me, but I can't say that. His name's like Richard Robinson or something. But yeah, no, I was scheduled, and honestly, it kind of sucks that I didn't get to fight those fights because I was fighting some like 9-2 dude from like it was like Nicaragua. It was like Nicaragua, and it was for an amateur MMA title. And then I was also fighting for my second Kings of Kickboxing title, and it was some like 2-5 dude. Like truthfully, I don't want to be ignorant. A fight's a fight, but I think I would have stopped him real fast without an issue. Um, but yeah, no, I mean, I'm the guy, I put my trust in God. So I genuinely believed it worked out because now I'm at a position where I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm in the best skillful wise of my life. Like, in experience wise, I'm also the best. So, I have some news, some news in June coming up now, but yeah, no, I had a couple fights that were booked, but if you saw before that, I mean, man, from July 20th to August 31st, I fought my like I fought July 20th, didn't get hit that fight. I didn't get hit that fight at all. I stopped them in 2 minutes, and then like 2 weeks or like a week and a half, 2 weeks later, they were like, hey man, or maybe it was like 3 weeks later. They were like, hey man, you want to go fight this blue belt in Nebraska in like 8 days? And I was like, sure, why not? So I went down there. Shout out to Deshaun Pluth. That was my opponent. We had a good fight. I won by decision. I think I could have stopped him. Especially now, I think I stop him. But also back then it was like I only got hit, one time on my head in that fight too. So like 2 weeks after that fight, because that fight was like August 8th. Like 2 weeks after that fight, August 31st, I fought. But like I got that fight on like 9 days notice too, or like 10 days notice. Like, hey, you want to go up a weight class in kickbox against a guy who's like 3-3 when he was 18. But I fought a guy named Schroeder Ramsey, a beast as a kickboxer. He's my age. I think he might still be 18 or maybe turning 19. I don't know. But he had like a bunch of, I think he had like 16 to 20 fights in all of kickboxing. So he was very experienced, and it was my first ever kickboxing match, and it was a war. Um, he head kicked me in the first round, and looking back, it slightly concussed me in that fight. It was weird because I took in my two fights, I took one punch to the head, one clean punch to the head, and from that, that my kickboxing fight, I took a lot of damage in the head, to the head in that fight. So it was real good to get a break though, with me being a young fighter. It was real, I needed that break. Because also, I don't think it's too hard to see, but I cut weight to get to 125 pounds. I cut a lot of weight. So it's not too healthy to continue to cut, cut, because my body, it's not, I'll send you pictures after this, but one of my weight cuts when I was at like 126, it was bad, man. Like it was not. I felt great in there, and my recovery is amazing every time. But like the weight cut is so difficult because I'm big for 25, so it's like it's hard to get there. But yeah, no, I definitely needed that little break, and I'm so glad for all those experiences that I got because from July 20th to August 31st, that's like around a month and a half. I fought like 3 times, that against, all pretty worthy opponents. So I'm very, very grateful for that, very grateful. So
So probably the bantamweight division will be in the future.
yeah, no, absolutely 100%. That's one thing that I don't know when it's gonna happen, because I'm still a young man. I just turned 19 years old, February 7th. So, around exactly, around 30 days ago. So, I'm very, very new to being 19 years old, and I'm still very, very young. I mean, last year was the first year I could fight amateur MMA like around my area, without like, because I don't know how other states are. Some states are weird, but as long as in like Wisconsin and most states around us, you have to be 18 to fight amateur MMA. So I did get experience, very good experience for being an 18-year-old. Being a 19-year-old now, I don't know when my body's going to develop and actually make that leap to 35. I fought at 35 in my last fight, and I don't know. I don't know if when it's exactly going to happen, but I know at a certain point, I'm when I'm professional, bantamweight's probably going to be my division. So, but for now, I mean, all I'm saying is if you get my name at 125, I don't know, man. I don't know. Good luck. That's all I'll say. Good luck, because when I get to 125 and I get in there, man, and I'm like 100, and I'm almost like 150 pounds in the octagon. It's I feel amazing. Like I feel amazing. And like I said, I just got fresh off of shout out to Mason. But yeah, I just whooped the 155er from Rufus. And he said it too. He told me, he said, you hit like 100. Everybody tells me, I don't say this not to be humble. I'm not gonna rely on my power. I rely on my skill. I'm a smart fighter. I understand my power and I understand I can use it as a weapon. But what I will say is that is one thing that I am blessed with. I do hit very, very hard for my weight. So when I'm in there against 25ers with 6-ounce gloves, I feel amazing. And I have not had a fight yet where I haven't hurt my opponent, including my pancreation fight. I hurt my opponent. So every single one of my fights I've rocked or hurt my opponent. I want my finish rate to be higher, but I know for a fact I have a lot of power. So I'm really just focusing on my skills, because I know I'm going to be able to put anybody out at 25, and I know I'm going to damn near be stronger than anybody at 125. So, and I'm not going to think like that. There are guys that could be stronger, but I genuinely know, as just like a fact of experience, that most 25ers I have ran into or seen, I've been bigger than and stronger than. So, that is good going for me for 25. But after a while, I am going to have to switch because again, like I cut a lot of weight. I cut a lot of weight, so it's yeah, go ahead, my
It's
bad.
it's probably not possible to like make a weight for like 10 or 15 years. You have to go up in the end.
It's insane. No, also, yeah, when you see the pictures after, you'll be like, wow, like it gets bad, man. Like I I I especially my amateur MMA title fights for 25 because I'm gonna have to weigh in at 125. Like I don't get 126. When I fought in Nebraska, I got you get a 3 pound allowance. So I was like, oh, beautiful, even better. I get to be 128 because I can get down to like 131, like and be super lean. And don't get me wrong, my energy is kind of lower and everything like that comes with weight cutting. But that last like 6 pounds is so difficult. That's what I'll say. It's difficult. So I'm definitely gonna go up. But I still feel great in the octagon at 25. Like I feel better than I feel like. I don't know for sure because I've only fought at 35 once, but I haven't ever felt drained and depleted at 25. I've only felt absolutely strong and super powerful at 25 because I've rehydrated right. And I weight cut. I weight cut the right way. Like I weight cut smart. I have very knowledgeable people around the sport around me, so I'm blessed with that. I'm kind of newer to all those things. I'm more, with the skill in the octagon, but I have good people around that can make the weight cut be as easy as it can be, because it's still hard. So
And about your kickboxing, like even career, let's say, because I think that you looked really good in that fight. Do you
thank you.
plan to have more kickboxing bouts this year?
Yeah, no, I want to. Possible fight news is I talked to Chase Beck, I believe his name is, and he puts on the promotion for Kings of Kickboxing. They want to give me a 125 title because my title is a 135 title, so I'm going for double champ in that promotion, which I know I can easily get. It's not easily in that way. I really like to be I'm a humble fighter. It's not gonna be, and no fight's easy, but I'll just say I genuinely believe in my skills, and if I perform the way I did at 35, at 25, I'm very, very comfortable and confident in my abilities and skills. So kickboxing, 1,000,000%. And also, honestly, man, I love all combat sports. I would love the box. I would love the box. So, that possibly in the future too. So, boxing, kickboxing, and Muay Thai too. I love Muay Thai. I would love the elbow, knee. Go against a Muay Thai style fighter. I love any combat sport. I love it. So any and all, honestly, especially as an amateur, you're going to see me in a lot of different rule sets, whether it's Muay Thai, whether it's boxing, kickboxing, or MMA. So, but what I will say is, obviously, as I said, as I go pro, like I would love to be the first double champ, Glory. Well, I mean, you got guys like Alex and Izzy who have done it, were Glory, but I would love to be a Glory one, K1 kickboxing champion. I would love to be a Muay Thai world champion or a boxing world champion and an MMA world champion. I believe wholeheartedly in my heart I could do that. But with that being said, I do want to be I want to be the greatest ever in one of my sports. So I also do understand I need to hold in and go 100% on one sport. But I definitely would love to compete in, like, like I said, I love competing. I love competing in all different kind of combat sports, and I know I have the mind and the skill for it, and also the youth on my side. So it's great, and I feel also that's going to help me. That's going to bring me towards my goal of I want to be the most well-rounded martial artist. I want to have boxing experience. I want to have multiple boxing fights against boxers. I want to have kickboxing experience against multiple guys who are just kickboxers who have make a whole career off kickboxing. And I also want to be like I want to go against guys who make a whole career off grappling. Like I want to be able to compete with all those guys in their sport. So, I feel like that's just going to help me in MMA be super well-rounded. So, especially as an amateur getting that experience. So yeah.
Like gaining this kind of knowledge, sometimes fighters move to other gyms, and not for like super long time, or the like full time training camp, but just for the few weeks. And do
Yeah.
do you have in your mind to go somewhere to maybe other gym or even other country to take some bit of the knowledge?
100%. So first things first, other country. It's one of my dreams to go to Thailand. I want to go to Thailand and get that experience of seeing what all that's about down there. Because you can see videos and you can hear from people, but going there and experiencing and how they talk about, you gotta every day when you go there, you're running before practice. You got to run a certain amount of miles before practice, and just the pad work and all that. Like I said, I love experience. So going down there and experiencing like the heart of Muay Thai would be amazing. In this summer, I believe maybe in August, I believe me and a couple of guys from the gym, um, I believe we're gonna go down to the Goat Shed if you know what that is. It's a big gym. It's a big gym in it's somewhere in Florida, I believe. So we're gonna go down there and we're gonna get a lot of work in there. But wise of around here, I really want to start going up and getting like sparring in with the guys at Pure Vita, with the guys at Rufus Sport, Milwaukee, all that stuff. Because like I said today, we got real good rounds with some guys from Keegan Genrich's gym and some guys from Rufus Sport Sheboygan, which I feel like that's one of the most underrated things is going around and just getting different looks of styles, getting different looks of concepts that other gyms use. I just feel like experience is really king in this sport. Obviously, with skill, when you add skill and experience, that's when you run into guys like you got guys like greats like Floyd Mayweather, you got guys like John Jones, you got guys like Israel Adesanya, you got guys like Max Holloway, just real experienced and pretty skilled fighters as well. So experience and skill, that's really what I'm focused on. So absolutely, those gyms I said right there, and then also eventually probably in the next couple of years going to Thailand. So very excited for all that. Hopefully fight in Thailand. I would love to fight down in Thailand. I would love to. So in Muay Thai, of course. So that would be a lot of fun.
And actually, I believe that Thailand, of course, except USA, it's like the best country to be in because they have so many great gyms, and there are a lot of
Yep.
fighters who goes there for like 8 weeks or something around this. So they are not there all the time, but the level of skills there is kind of crazy. Sometimes even on the same level as in the US in the best gyms.
100%. Yo, bro, I've ran in the story. Like people have told me stories like 13-year-olds will go there and you'll think they're like been I mean, I was gonna say you think they've been doing it their whole life, but they have been. They've been doing it since they were like 4. So it's like you'll run into guys that are like they have crazy experience just because they've had like 10 fights by the time they were 7, 8, like 6. So it's like the experience there is crazy, and absolutely I agree. It's one of the very few other countries where it's like I feel like Dagestan area in Russia and some places in Europe as well have like real good talent. The UK has some solid talent. um but yeah, there's some solid countries here and there, but Thailand's up there, man. It's one of the best. It's one of the best countries for just striking background, because Muay Thai originated there. So I believe it originated there. I don't want to speak on something I don't know, but I mean, it's basically the capital of Muay Thai. You if you want to learn, if you want to go to learn Muay Thai from some of the best instructors in the world, you go to Thailand. So it's it's gonna happen one day, definitely.
And for now, because you like spoke about like two belts when you will defeat your
Yep.
next opponent in kickboxing. So like having two belts, it's of course always a really impressive thing.
Yep.
But about like overall MMA world, who do you think is the best of all time, the GOAT of MMA?
Man, okay, this is a great question. Okay. So I look at it from a position of like because people like to talk about resumes. Now, resumes are important. Who you fought was very important, but I'm a guy who's all about skill. Your performance in the ring and how good you are is important to me. So I look at guys and immediately that comes to mind is like a John Jones or Demetrius Johnson. The reason I say that, look, Habib is one of the most dominant fighters ever. I see a lot of people say Habib. Um, I usually see Habib, John Jones, or like a GSP sometimes. But in my personal experience, from or my personal opinion, I'll say, you look at a guy like Habib, and yes, he is very, very dominant on the ground, right? But I look at the well-roundedness of a guy, right? I'll look at Demetrius Johnson. There's not even. I mean, if you even look at Henry Cejudo, he was grappling back and forth with Henry Cejudo, Olympic champion. So you look at his striking ability and his grappling ability. DJ is the kind of guy that he could go and I'm sure if he committed and dedicated himself to fighting some of the best strikers in like kickboxing and I mean I mean he did a round with Rotang with small gloves on. I mean, you know what I mean? He can strike. So in my personal opinion, I'm gonna say John Jones or um Demetrius Johnson, but my all-time favorite fighter in any sport is Floyd Mayweather and Gervonta Davis. Those are my two favorite. I love boxing. I love watching boxing. Those are my two favorite fighters. And those are some of the most skilled fighters. Like, in my opinion, Floyd's the greatest striker for his sport of all time. I mean, his decision making and his ability to adapt in fights it's insane. Like I watch a lot of Floyd Mayweather, man. That's what I'll say. He's all around my favorite and GOAT from combat sports, but in MMA specifically, I would have to go with John Jones and then Mighty Mouse, I would say. But um, my favorite I'll say all time is maybe like an Anderson Silva. I love watching Anderson Silva, man. He Anderson Silva was the well polished striker before they were well polished strikers. So he's one of my favorite all time to watch. So yeah, he was that was great.
Yes, and actually, I think that at one point, like a few years ago, Anderson Silva was in this kind of list, like maybe the best, maybe top three. But of course, the end of his career, the few losses that he had, it's like a little bit like his resume. It hurt a little bit because of these
Definitely.
losses. But of course, I think that at his prime, in his prime, for I believe it was 7 years from 2006 to 2013 to the Chris
Man,
Weidman fight. He was like unbeatable. He went to light
man,
heavyweight, defeated Forrest Griffin, Bonner, James Irvin. So he defeated
I mean,
everyone, even moving up.
no, I mean, even a prime Daniel Cormier had some issues with him, and he went up. Daniel Cormier was a heavyweight champ. I mean, this guy a prime, and this is what I mean. You made a very great point. You made a very great point of it, like you look at his legacy and it can kind of be hurt from some of his later performances. But I'm always the kind of guy where it's like I'm going to judge a fighter when you're at your best, Every single fighter, even John Jones, even Floyd Mayweather, John Jones right now. John Jones is not as good as he was well, I don't want to say not as good because you always gain experience as a fighter, but physically when it comes to your joints, when it comes to your muscles, when it comes to your chin, when it comes to just your body from doing the sport for so long, you're going to deteriorate, You're not going to be as fresh, you're not going to be as quick, you're not going to be as explosive as you were when you were 29 years old. So with that being said, especially with a guy like Anderson Silva's style, I really do see why, he could have some losses later in his career. But when it comes to his prime, he's one of the greatest fighters of all time. Like in his prime, he could have went and kickboxed or boxed probably. He was a great fighter. Like he was one of my favorite of all time. So You made a great point there.
Okay, Cam. So many thanks for the time and for conversation. I hope that you will be as active at in this year as you were
Oh,
last
definitely.
year. So few fights in few months, and I hope that you will stay undefeated in like both sports or even
Yep.
free sports.
Yep. Yeah, thank you. No, yeah, right now, 4-0 across all competitions, 3-0 in and not including my pancreation, 3-0 right now. Which again, I learned a lot in those fights. With that being said, I believe June I'm going to be fighting in Clearwater, Florida, for a thing called promotion called Vigent MMA. They offered my coach a fight, so it's not 100% yet, but you could possibly see me in Florida at 125 in June. And all I'm saying for my opponent is I hope you're ready. That's what I gotta say to him. I hope you're ready cause because I'm ready. I'm beyond ready, man. Like I genuinely can't wait to show my skills because at this point, man, I feel like I don't I don't want to be like that, but man, all I'm saying is you're gonna have to find one of the best 125ers on the planet for amateur fighting to be able to beat me, and that's wholeheartedly what I believe in my heart. And even then, I wholeheartedly believe in my heart that I am the best 125-pound amateur fighter in the world right now. So, again, and that's my job to go out and prove that every time I compete. That's my job to go out and to prove that every time I compete. But absolutely, yeah. Thank you so much for giving me this platform. Um, and anybody who is watching this, 100%. I can't tell you what to do, but guys like this are guys that are helping the sport more than anybody can really know. Because I guarantee you've interviewed about probably 4 to 5 future UFC fighters or one championship fighters. So you're giving young fighters like myself and young fighters like my buddy Brennan or other guys that you've interviewed platforms, and that is you know that I feel like that says a lot about your character. Obviously, you're making content out of it, but it's very very helpful, and in my opinion it's what the sport needs, and that's just my opinion, making it more of like a because they have that for football, they have that for basketball. They have super hyped up young fighters coming up and or young basketball players, young athletes coming up. So the fact that it's breaking into the MMA scene, and MMA is still a newer sport, I believe it's super helpful. So shout out to you, man, and shout out to everything you do, for real, 100%, man.
Okay, thank you very much.